Welcome to our worship service at First Unitarian Society of Ithaca. We enter this new year 2021 nurturing our connections, ever seeking inspiration, and hopeful for light and health as we work through this winter. My name is Jennifer Stridemullen, and I'm the Celebration Associate today. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to everyone, whether you are newcomers or longtime attendees, members of the Ithaca community, or watching from another place. We are so glad you have chosen to be with us. Please check your email, our Facebook page, and our website for more information about how to create connections. If you'd like to receive weekly updates describing opportunities for engagement, please email a request to office@uuithaca.org. Our service this morning has been pre-recorded, but we look forward to sharing the service broadcast on Sunday morning and seeing you at the live coffee hour that follows. As this is broadcast on the 24th, we will have completed the first 3 sessions of the Living the Pledge workshop here in Ithaca, which is half of the first series. If you want to participate in the next workshop this spring, please let Reverend Margaret know. This month's Side with Love campaign is collecting earbuds and headphones, new ones, for students doing their classwork remotely on computers. For $5 or $10, you can buy a set of earbuds to help a local student, or you can send a check to Fuse It with Side with Love in the memo field. Earbuds and headphones can be dropped off in a bin on the porch of the parish house. The theme for January is imagination, which will be reflected in the music, readings, and sermons. Our new online service auction is coming. It will be the weekend of February 12th through 14th, with the theme of love echoing the Valentine's Day timing. We are looking for donations of services, baked goods, and more. Please send donations to auction@uuithaca.org by January 31.
Hi, this is Kim Wilkinson, and behind me, my special guest is Merritt, and we're here to tell you about the Share the Love online auction, which we're super excited about. An opportunity to connect with each other and to do some fundraising for our church. And we wanted to tell you that this is going to be happening in February. You might have heard it or seen the online details through our announce or our newsletter or on the Facebook page. There's an event invite there if you want to get connected and get some more details. Additionally, we'll have the live auction that's going to be online on February 12th, 13th, and 14th. And the theme for the auction is
love.
And what do we say? Share the
love.
That's right. We're sharing the love. So if you would like to participate in this, you can help by donating an item. There's a really not yet, buddy. Stay put. Working from home. There's a really simple form that you can click through to from the announce. I'm going to show you here what this is going to look like. It's very simple to fill out. Looks like this. And we're going to be asking you just for some contact information, your name, your email address, your phone number, and what you're going to be donating. Now, what the heck gets donated for an online service auction in COVID times? Well, you can think about lots of different items that we can do while still distancing. We can still share while distancing. You can also give a description of how we will get people to bid and what you estimate to be the market value of your item, a minimum bid, and if we can sell more than one. Simple form, easy to do. And the types of items we're looking for are anything from sharing your vacation destination spot to a cooking class, helping people to make artwork, having a Zoom lesson with someone, doing something distanced outdoors, helping with yard work or things around the house, all kinds of possibilities. We know that your creative minds will come up with so many good things, and we're looking forward to seeing this and having the opportunity to connect around it. So we hope that everybody is ready and willing to share the love in February. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Come into this place and peer upon the empty space. The space is calling for you to fill it with hopes and dreams and worries and the burdens that round your back with their weight. This unblemished new day brings with it the potential to let your imagination run free, to call into being the love and justice and hope for which we are yearning, to co-create with others a community of care and compassion, to let go of that which is harmful and pick up that which is healing. Carry forward what you need most and leave the rest. A new day is calling to you, to me, to all of us. Let us answer with joy and with courage. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Here you belong.
If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice.
Good morning and happy Sunday. Our faith asks us to use our reason to question what is and imagine new ways to think about things. It's part of our fifth UU source. Heed the guidance of reason and the results of science. Today we have a big white envelope marked January 24th to open together. Let's take a look at what's inside. What is this thing? Well, shall we try folding it together to see what happens? All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold it upright like this, and you should see some lines or creases, and we're going to fold all of those creases towards the center, towards each other. in like this. This one has 2 creases. One should already be folded so it fit in your envelope. And then we're going to fold the other one in one at a time. There we go. And then the ones on the bottom. Let's flip it now like this with that long flappy part facing us. And can we take this bottom part and fold it up and in? Then we're going to take this whole big top part and fold that up and in. Oh, do you see that there is a little hole cut? And there's some little tabs here. We're going to fold them up and over. And we're going to stick that tab right in the bottom there. Ready? We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold it up and over and stick the tab right in the bottom. It should look like this now. And then all we have to do is take this part and fold it down. And take this last part and we're going to slide those flaps right into those holes there. And we have a box, a tiny little box. Have you heard the expression thinking outside the box? What does that mean? Do we imagine our brain in a box and then outside one? No. It means thinking in a non-conventional or different, more imaginative and creative way. To think outside the box is to look further and to try not thinking of the obvious things, but to try thinking of the things beyond them or even other than them. That takes imagination, which is our theme for this month. Our faith asks us to be questioning and imaginative. Sometimes people think of science and imagination as opposites, but every good scientist will tell you that you need imagination and reason to understand the world and to invent new things. Scientists and inventors need to question and use their imagination. Even Albert Einstein, a physicist, used his imagination. He said, "I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination encircles the world." So one of the ways our faith guides us into becoming a people of imagination is by telling us to use imagination and reason as partners to think outside the box. So let's take this box and let's think outside the box and use our imaginations. What could this box be? A box for jewelry, or maybe a tiny tea set. A house for a mouse or a beetle. Maybe it's the controls of a robot. How crazy can we get? How far can we think outside the box? Is this a galaxy within ours? Or a hat for a creature with a square head? What about other common objects we have lying around our houses? What could we imagine they could be if we think outside the box? What is this? Could be a percussion instrument. Maybe it's the mast for a ship. What about this? Maybe it's the backdrop for a play. Or I wonder if we tied it just right, if it could be a sail on our mast sailing the sea. What else have I got here? Ooh, what is this? Is it a hat for my head? It almost fits. Or maybe fairy creatures would like to fill it with warm water and have a hot tub. This month and beyond, I invite you to color outside the lines, get off the beaten path, and use creative thinking to find new ways of looking at things. And imagine all of the possibilities you might find if you only look for them in a new and different way.
Each week, we create a space in our worship time together for some communal spiritual practice. We lift up the names and circumstances that call for our joy and our celebration, and for our concern and our sorrow. This week, I lift up the new presidential administration in this country with prayers that we might start to heal, to repair, to hold one another accountable, to move forward with health and with peace. And I lift up the over 400,000 Americans who have lost their lives in the coronavirus pandemic and hundreds of thousands of others across the world. And I lift up all those who are struggling with illness of the body or the mind, those who are struggling to overcome addiction or unsafe home lives. May all of us find strength and courage and peace. If you're watching this service in its live format, I invite you to type your joy or sorrow into the chat box. Or if you wish, you can simply speak it to the people you're watching with, or aloud to yourself. Speak it into the universe. Together, may we trust that these joys and sorrows, these circumstances for our prayers, are held by the universe, and may we offer our love and compassion so that they may be held with care. At the beginning of our live coffee hour each week, we'll have a facilitator who will offer more space for the sharing of joys and sorrows. In this lifting up of these important parts of our lives, may we all engage in a communal spiritual practice of listening deeply, of offering our care and compassion to one another and to our hurting world. Now, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows of our lives, let us continue in some moments of reflection and prayer. As we turn the page as a country, as a community, to whatever comes next, let us be reminded of our resilience, and a reminder of the values and the forces that have buoyed us through difficult times. I want to return to an old recipe that I've shared with you before. This recipe has been tweaked over time, so adjust as necessary. Sometimes it yields more servings than anticipated. Sometimes it needs a bit more of this ingredient or that. It comes from generations who have gone before me, and I've added my own flavor along the way. A recipe for resilience. 1 part courage, 2 parts tears of failure and doubt, 1 part deep listening, 1 part each of both silence and laughter, a dash of trust, a pinch of wonder, a heaping scoop of naps and snacks. In a separate bowl, mix together family, friends, those who challenge you to be your best self, those with whom you disagree. Add this slowly to the larger pot. Add a bay leaf for, whatever it is that bay leaves do, and let simmer for as long as you need, which is often longer than you realize or anticipate. Keep the heat at an even temperature, hot enough to cook throughout, but not so hot that it burns on the bottom. This can be served at room temperature, warm, even cold if necessary. Serve alongside your favorite soft blanket or dog or cat or other soft item. Make often. Share with others. Hold on to the leftovers. You'll need them after a long day that have challenged your soul. So may it be. Amen. And blessed be.
Who will I be?
Who will I be?
What will I see
What will I see
in this great world?
in this great world?
Who could be free?
Who could be free?
And what will I build?
What will I build?
What will I find?
What will I find?
My story begins
The story begins
inside my mind.
inside my mind.
Who will I be?
Who will I be?
And what will I see
What will I see
in this great world?
in this great world?
Who could be free?
Who could be free? What will I build? What will I build? And what will I find? What will I find? My story begins. Story begins inside my mind. Inside my mind. In my imagination. My imagination.
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca. The giving information will appear on your screen in a moment during the offertory music. Giving to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. The first time you give with the text link, it is a longer process, but after the initial information is entered, the following donations are quick and easy. So please take a moment and give through either the text option or the giving button on the homepage of the website. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond.
Our reading this morning are words by Arundhati Roy. They're from her essay from April 3rd called "The Pandemic is a Portal." Whatever it is, she writes, coronavirus has made the mighty kneel and brought the world to a halt like nothing else could. Our minds are still racing back and forth, longing for a return to normality. Trying to stitch our future to our past, refusing to acknowledge the rupture. But the rupture exists, and in the midst of this terrible despair, it offers us a chance to rethink the doomsday machine we have built for ourselves. Nothing could be worse than a return to normality. Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. This one is no different. It is a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our prejudice and hatred, our avarice, our databanks and dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. Or we can walk through lightly with little luggage, ready to imagine another world and ready to fight for it. In his autobiography, Mark Twain said, "There is no such thing as a new idea. It is impossible. We simply take a lot of old ideas and put them into a sort of mental kaleidoscope. We give them a turn and they make new and curious combinations. We keep on turning and making new combinations indefinitely. But they are the same old pieces of colored glass that have been in use through all the ages." I agree with Twain in so much that much of what we think, say, do, is rooted in what we have thought and said and done throughout human history. So often, these foundational ideas and needs are what we bump up against when circumstances are not what we might want. And again, we are forced to find a way forward across a threshold we did not choose and which we cannot control. And we reach for what is familiar. This past year, we have been tossed into a kaleidoscope. We've been shaken up and turned around and forced to find new combinations and ways of doing old things. And because we have been prevented and sometimes prohibited from doing things the way we've always done them, we've been forced to use our creativity and our imagination in new and powerful ways. We've been invited to find new combinations and systems and ways of being. We must, as we are reminded by Arundhati Roy, acknowledge the rupture that exists between our past and our future and see it with fresh eyes, this path forward. In a way, we are like children, seeing and experiencing the world with fresh eyes. There's something so powerful and magnetic about childhood curiosity, imagination, sense of wonder. As children, we're often given more space to use our imagination outside of the restraints of expectations or parameters. And some of that space gets more limited as we get older. Many children are able to imagine entirely different worlds with their own ways of being and doing. But as we get older, we get out of practice. I'm reminded of a few of the first Christmases and birthdays when my nephew and nieces were babies. Without fail, they would be showered with gifts, toys that light up, toys that make noise, that promise to engage and enthrall. Gift after gift wrapped so neatly and beautifully and carefully selected for the child to help them to develop their sense of self or their comfort with language or challenge gender stereotypes or improve their fine motor skills. And without fail, when all the gifts were unwrapped and paper and ribbons strewn about the floor, the child would pick up the ultimate toy, a cardboard box, and play with that. A cardboard box, the ultimate blank slate, a future spaceship or grocery store, an igloo, a race car. The possibilities were endless. What might we transform this into this time? A portal to another world, another possibility. In a way, in this moment now, where we find ourselves, is like a cardboard box. This pandemic is offering a blank slate for us to start over and be more intentional with ourselves and with each other. It offers a space for reflection on the fragments of light at the core of our being and our relationships, and a conscious and deliberate choice of which pieces we will carry forward with us into the future. This pandemic, this portal, is an invitation into ourselves and an opportunity for potential transformation of ourselves and the world in the process. This is the same for us as a religious community. For many, this congregation has continued to be a source of inspiration and connection throughout a time when other parts of our lives have been put on hold. For some of us, our small groups or our ministry teams or RE gatherings have been the touchstones we need to get through these strange and challenging times. For others, struggles with illness, job loss, other issues have been lessened by the love and the effort and the presence of this community. Indeed, while the how of doing church in this COVID time looks very different, the why remains constant. Ours is a calling to create community and connection, to bear witness to suffering, to work for justice, to find healing through inspiration and wonder. At times we have done that together in a sanctuary crammed full of people, ranging in age from infancy to old age and everywhere in between. And now we do that through the miracle of social media and YouTube and Zoom. It might look different, but the core values are the same. And just like the rest of the world, we as a congregation have been offered a space to reflect on what ideas and values are at our core, and which of those we want and need to carry forward with us. And we are taking this threshold moment, this moment of pause, to do some conscious work on ourselves, to strengthen our foundation and care for our spiritual home. Now, some of you may know that you may be aware that these past few weeks, the sanctuary has been filled with scaffolding. The organ wrapped up tightly to protect it, the pulpit and the piano pushed aside, the windows boarded up, multiple levels of scaffolding up into the space above our pews. And now we start the many weeks-long process of tending to our building. The cracks will be plastered. New life will be brought to the organ, new paint on the walls, the outer walls filled with insulation so that we can be more in alignment with our values around climate justice, the new sound and video equipment cared for and reinstalled. And it is through the generosity of a small group of FUSIT donors that this work can be completed in this year of pause. It is because of these generous folks and their spirit of abundance that we are able to do this work, and we are so, so grateful. By the time this work is done and we gather again in the sanctuary, it will feel like a new beginning, like a fresh new page. We will have turned the page and be ready for whatever comes next. And really, what we're doing is what generations before us have done in this religious community. We're caring well and nurturing the place that has housed and cared for us for so many years, for generations. This is not the first pandemic that our building and our congregation have been through. Those who came before us lived through the flu pandemic in the early 20th century and also stayed apart so that they could once again come together. And so do we. As we pass through this pausing time, this threshold, this portal, what will we choose to carry forth? Will we choose to carry forward our dead ideas, our old assumptions about what is possible, about what we are capable of? Will we choose to carry forward the belief that there is only one way to do things? Or will we choose to open ourselves to the possibilities and use our imagination? Will we take this time to take a deep breath and consider what we might do with this blank page? Ours is a living tradition. Unitarian Universalism is rooted in the idea that our beliefs and our worldview will change based on our experiences and our circumstances. And it is also rooted in the idea that there are some things that are non-negotiable. Justice, equity, compassion, to name a few, love. Sounds like a pretty remarkable kaleidoscope to me. Justice and equity, compassion, love, coming together in different combinations to create beauty and wonder in a world that so desperately needs it. My friends, may we take the time to pause, to breathe, to appreciate the space we have to create a new world. May we have the courage to move into the unknown with the knowledge that we bring our strength with us. May we be patient with ourselves and each other as we find our way. And may we honor the ways that our past has shaped us and brought us to this very moment as we move forward together into whatever comes next. So may it be. Amen, and blessed be.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all of you. Living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It's hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all of you living life in peace. May say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world will be as one. Imagine there's possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all of you sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world will be as one.
As we extinguish our chalices, we do not let go of the hope and the courage that the flame represents. We go forth from this place carrying with us our sense of wonder and imagination, our call to do and to be the best versions of ourselves, our yearning for a world made fair and honest. We carry our promise to do the work of justice, our compassion for all, our love and our courage. We carry it all out into this beautiful and broken world. Our service is ended. Let our true service now begin. Go in peace.